Buenos dias. Good morning, beautiful ones. Are you crushing it this morning? Are you crushing it with your crush coffee? This coffee is so good. I can't even handle it. I love that my favorite coffee on the whole planet is my own coffee. That makes me very happy. Good morning, Angel. How are you, sis? Good morning, Chill Wave. Good morning, Yvonne. Good morning, M. Mogar. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Shay. Hi, Joy. Good morning, Angelique. Good morning, Elsie. Hi. How's it going? How's your little biz going? So amazing. Good morning, everybody. I love that you're here this morning. I just adore each of you. Thank you for joining every single day at 9:30. This just makes my heart so happy. It's so good. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Did you sleep well? We are going to have such a good conversation today. We are going to be talking about we're going to be applying Joshua 1 verse 9 to building wealth. This is a whole other level of conversation. And I'm so excited about it. So dig yourself in, because sometimes people get a little weirded out and funky about money, but I don't want you to. Consider this inspirational. This is an inspirational conversation. This is a joyful conversation. This is a conversation that will heal you and help you. This is going to be a conversation that's going to move you into a different way of thinking if your money's funny right now, because it happens to everybody. You know? It happens to everybody. It's all good. And I want women to know. I want everybody to know. But I love to speak to women about these things, because it seems to be something that, well, actually, not seems. Women historically don't have the same wealth that men do. Now, it doesn't mean we don't have access to it. It just means that historically, women have been oppressed in this way. And so we are breaking generational patterns. We are changing the way things are done. We're flipping the script. Thank you for the compliment about my outfit. So remember the dress that I had on last week that was really colorful and had the big bow in the back? This dress is from the same place. It's from the African Boutique, which is here in Thunder Bay. And the woman who owns it, Lillian Brayland, is from Africa. She's just a beautiful soul. I just adore her. And she has an incredible ability to design really great clothing. And it's all different. Whenever I wear this, I feel like a flower. It's a really, really, look at all of the material in the skirt. It's just lots and lots of cotton. Good morning. Hi, Sarah. Good morning, sis. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Alita. Hi, gorgeous. Good morning, Angel. Look at all of you beautiful people coming in. Hi, Angelique. I don't know if I said hi to you already. I love that you guys are all here with me every morning. Miss Loopy, I see you. Good morning, sis. You guys are just really incredible. I'm gonna rave on about you for a minute. There's this really great store in Thunder Bay called The Loop. I get my clothes from two places. Well, sometimes I do go to Winners, but there's this really beautiful boutique in Thunder Bay called The Loop. And actually, it's so funny because we were just who was I talking with? I was talking with somebody just recently about the fact that you are our favorite clothing store in the city, and that it's women owned, and that we're so happy that you're thriving. And she's got, you guys go to, I think it's probably theloop.com. Can you put your website in here? She has beautiful clothing. And what I love is that she has a live TikTok channel, And if you go watch, she every day, I think it's pretty much every day, she does an outfit of the day. And she shows you the clothing that she's brought into her store. And it is so amazing. And that's how you got to do it, right? And even through all of the crazy, with so many local stores and smaller retail stores closing, she has built a really strong online presence, a really strong online store, as well as she has such beautiful clothing, and she just shows up every day. And it's so great to see you here. I love that you're here. But what I love about it too is that this is a woman-owned business, a locally owned, woman-owned business. And she has a vision, I'm just gonna throw it out there, I'm just guessing, to deliver high quality clothing, right? There was a time when all of the clothing was from Canada. I think that's shifted a little bit now, but her clothing is stunning. And I have spent a lot of money in that store over the years. So anyway, put your, I don't know if you did already, but go, I think it's like theloop.com. But it's so funny because we're talking about wealth, right? On this call, we're talking about the courage to build finances. And I love the fact that a woman-owned clothing company here in Thunder Bay is thriving, and that she has the courage to just keep going, and she pivots and she shifts and she does beautiful work, and her clothing is stunning, and people go in there because they know that they're going to get high quality clothing, and she doesn't sacrifice that vision for anything. And I love that, and that's so important. And actually, oh, I don't have my earrings on right now. And I'm just talking about this because this is important when it comes to talking about building wealth for women. I had a conversation with the women in my Legacy Business Masterclass last night about the importance of vision for women, about the importance of knowing what it is that you want, knowing what it is that you want to deliver. I'm just going right into it. Knowing what it is that you want to deliver to the world, and then planning accordingly. So last night we talked about scaling and succession and what a legacy business looks like. And if you want to build a legacy business, what you need to do is understand ahead of time what it is that you want to build for your future. And then every decision that you make is based on that vision, right? So women do get to have wealth. Women do get to be liberated. Women do get to have financial freedom that allows them to support what they want to support, build what they want to build, do what they want to do, get out of toxic relationships, get out of toxic situations that don't feel good. You get the opportunity to deliver your gift out into the world. But it's a decision, and we're going to talk about that this morning. Okay. So there was my PSA for the loop. Okay, I'm lighting my candle because we're going to get into it this morning. I have a lot to say this morning because this is an important conversation. Put a 1 in the comments if this conversation is going to help you. You just know, because we're going to talk about the strength and the courage to face your finances and to build wealth. So put a 1 in the comments if this is something that you're interested in learning more about, and that actually wealth is blessed by God. Poverty is not a Christian thing, okay? Can we just all set that aside right now? It's such a pile of it. Okay, so I'm gonna put my candle right here, right? This is gonna be so good. Okay, so wait, I wanted to read something to you guys before I get started. I have this sweet little book. Oh, by the way, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. I just love all of you. It's glitchy, is it? I don't know why it's glitchy. Nothing should be glitchy because I've got full bars. Sometimes the glitch is on your side, so maybe check it out. And if it's glitchy because of me, I'm apologizing now because I can't change anything. All of my devices are on Wi-Fi. And I do have one older device. So if it's glitchy, I take full responsibility for that. And that would be the IG platform. So hopefully that's not a problem. Okay, I want to tell you guys a few things. First of all, every single piece of jewelry I have on today, except for my rosary that I bought when I was in Guatemala, is my mom's. Isn't that amazing? My mom's earrings that are from Arizona. my mom's rings. What else? I'm from my mom. There's that. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna switch my charger over to the other phone for a minute. I was feeling inspired this morning by my mom. Who else here is really close to their mom? You know, even though my mom is gone, we're still so close. Like, she's the reason that I'm doing this work, right? You guys all know that. There, I just plugged in Instagram. I'm gonna have to go back and forth between Instagram and Facebook with plugging in. But my mom and I were so close. And she's the reason that I do the work that I do today. Because when she was dying of cancer, I really dug into my faith. There are going to be people here who probably don't know that. But the reality is that she was so calm and serene during her journey through chemotherapy, which was awful. Who here, put a heart in the comments. Put a pink heart in the comments. Go find it on your emojis. Put a pink heart in the comments if you have witnessed or walked with somebody through that journey. I mean, it's a sacred job, it's a sacred role, but it is so hard. And she did that with such grace. She did it with such faith. She did it with such, I don't want to say ease, but strength and courage and grit. And I remember saying to her one time, Mom, how are you doing this? Good morning. Good morning, Anne. And I remember saying to her, Mom, how are you able to move through this in such a graceful way? How are you able to move through something that's so devastating with such courage? Good morning, Liz. Good morning, Trini. And you know what she said? Faith, sweetheart, my faith. And I said to her, I need more of that in my life. And that's when I started really digging into my faith and really committing my life to God and going to church and listening. I wasn't going to church just to go to church. I was going to church because I was a sponge. I was looking for wisdom. I was looking for somebody to speak into me. I was looking for somebody to show me the way, right? And so that's why I'm here. And so every once in a while I feel inspired, especially when I'm having a conversation like the one that we're going to have today. I feel inspired to wear all my mom's stuff. And also there's an embodiment of abundance that comes with this conversation. So I wanted to feel abundant this morning, and I do. I'm wearing an outfit that's abundant. I'm wearing jewelry that's abundant. My mom was an abundant woman. She was not somebody who played small. She was not somebody who dimmed down. She did all kinds of cool stuff. You guys, my mom was a pilot. My mom flew planes. When she was young, her dad was a pilot in the war, okay? And he taught her how to fly planes. And my mom used to do acrobatics in planes. I'm not even joking. She would do like turns and spins. That was my mom. My mom was the coolest chick. So that's who my mother was. That's what I got to grow up with. She was from Monterey, California. That's where she was born. Isn't that crazy? So I have American roots. So it's not a surprise that my new honey bunny is from Michigan. Actually, he's not from Michigan. No, he's from Michigan. He lives in Wisconsin. Isn't that fun? My American roots. Okay, anyway, I'm going to get into it. So I'm going to read to you from this little sweet devotional book that I bought when I was in Atlanta, Georgia. I bought this in January, and I just love it. It's called Lord, It's Me Again. Do you guys remember the Judy Blume books? God, It's Me Again, Margaret. Do you guys remember that one? Hey, God, it's me again. My mom liked to crochet and dance and was such a workout baddie. I love that. Aren't moms the best? The good ones. And if you're blessed to be one of the lucky ones with a good mom, that's incredible. And I totally understand that not everybody has had that experience. And I just hope that if you didn't have that experience, that you found a mothering energy somewhere and that you were able to experience the love of a mother, the mothering love, because it's so special. It really is. But I do understand that not everybody has access to that, right? Yes, I miss her, but I talk to her anyway. Me too. Me too, Anne. My mom was cool. What else did my mom do? My mom is like a total chain breaker when it comes to women in the church. She was the first woman who was the head of the board. What's it called? The board at the church? Anyway, at my parents' church. She sat on the board and was the head of the board. Chair. She was the chair of the board at my parents' church till the day she died. The chair of the board has more power than anybody else. And this is a church, BTW, that, how do I say it? Women had to work to get a voice in this church. And there are a lot of women now in this church who lead. But my mom was the chair of the board till the day she died. And I love that about her because she kept that role. Even when she was dying, she knew how important it was to stay in that role, right? And now there's a man. She was one of those kinds of women. She just stuck it out. She was like, this is too important. This is too vital for me to give this up. So you know what they would do? They would come to my parents' place and have meetings because she was not well. And they would come to her. That's how good she was. And now people always say that they really miss my mom as the chair of the board because she was just a great, great leader. And I would only pray and hope to be a fraction of the leader that she was because she was just so amazing. Okay, so May 28th devotional. Are y'all here with me? Hi, Amy. And remember to share this out, you guys. Share this message out. This is going to be a really powerful message this morning because we're going to talk about women and faith and finances. But before we get started, I love the message from today because everything aside, day-to-day life, we need to pay attention to our words, right? We don't have any gossip up in here. We don't have any negative energy up in here. We don't have any of that he said, she said energy up in here. As women of God, as people of God, we need to model what that looks like, right? And especially in these crazy days where everybody's online trashing everybody and looking for the holes in people's movement. Like, I want to prove you wrong. I want to prove that, you know, I'm better than you are. I want this time to be my time. There's so much of that out there in the world right now. Like social media, you really, really have to filter what it is that you see because there's so much negativity, right? And the negativity is gossip for the most part. If you take a look at it, it's people trashing other people. And we don't have time for that. And so it's such good timing. It's called reverse gossip. Reverse gossip. What's reverse gossip? It's lifting people up. It's seeing the greatness only in them. Proverbs 16 verse 24 says, gracious words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the body. I love that. That's so beautiful. We know that our words are powerful. We understand with what we say, we can build someone up or we can tear them down. But apart from the words we speak directly to one another, we must realize that even the words we speak behind someone's back can have a tremendous effect on them. From celebrity gossip to telling our friends about an experience we had with someone, we talk about others all the time. These conversations tend to be negative. What if we decided to be radically set apart with our words and conversations? What if we began a movement to reverse gossip by spreading word of the greatness in people instead? I want you to write something right now in the comments about somebody that you know and just say something really beautiful about them. Maybe it's a friend that's here on the live. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's your bestie, right? Maybe it's somebody that you've met recently. Maybe it's somebody that you've known for a long time. I want you to say something really beautiful about them in the comments. Okay? Let's start that right here. Put something really beautiful about them and tag them. Tag them in it. What if we spent our time dreaming about how we could help others instead of bettering ourselves? Our hearts and our lives would reflect Jesus much more clearly if we would simply change the way we speak about others. That's so beautiful. And then here's the prayer. Lord Jesus, help me to tame my tongue. Good morning, Joanne. Give me the gift of gracious words. Let kindness flow easily from my lips, and let me speak greatness over others on a daily basis. I want to bring sweetness to this. I love this part. I want to bring sweetness to the souls of those you've placed in my life. Isn't that just the most beautiful reminder? I just love that. This is a great little book. If you can find it online, I highly recommend it. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of my water. I do have my coffee here. Okay, let's rock and roll. So I'm going to remind everybody of the scripture that we're looking at this week, which is Joshua 1, verse 9. Okay? Have I not commanded you? Underline the word command. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. I love all of the beautiful things you guys are writing about each other. Myrna Olson is super special, a giver, a supporter, an encourager. She is absolutely precious. Aw, Myrna, I love that for you. My new friend Angela, she's always been supportive. I want to bring sweetness to her. Oh, that's so beautiful. You guys, these are gorgeous. Amy, Romy is an amazing, beautiful soul, and I'm so glad she came in my world. I love you, sis. The Uncommon Mamas are my prayer warriors. I love that. And they walk the talk. So gorgeous. Look at this. You guys, isn't this beautiful? Okay, here we go. So you guys, everyone experiences financial ebbs and flows, okay? So I just want to lay that down. If you're feeling tension right now, if you're feeling financial stress right now, if you're feeling discomfort right now, if you're feeling dis-ease in your finances right now, if things aren't where you want them to be right now, if you're challenged by your money right now, if your money's funny right now, if you're maxing everything out and, taking from Peter to pay Paul, I want you to know something. You are not alone. This is common. This is normal. This is life. But what we're here to do is talk about how we can shift that so it happens less often. How we can shift that so that we can exhale. But it's going to take work, and it's going to take an open and honest conversation. Hi, my sweet Kimmy D. So I just want you to understand and know right now, put your hand, if you have financial stress right now, put your left hand on your heart and your right hand over top. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's just take a minute, because money does all kinds of funky stuff to our nervous systems. And let's just say to ourselves, I love you. I forgive you. I'm excited for you. Okay? I love you. I forgive you. I'm excited for you. Because sometimes we make mistakes with our money, right? Sometimes we do things. And so we're just forgiving ourselves. But we also need to love ourselves because we're human and we're doing the best that we can. And sometimes we're not doing our best, but we're human, right? Sometimes we could do better, but we're human. And then to be thankful and grateful for what is coming is also really important. Okay? So I want you to promise me that you're going to forgive yourself, that you're going to love yourself, and that you're going to be grateful for what's coming. Let's put down all sticky energy for this call. Let's put down all fear for this call and just be open-hearted and just hear me out. Okay? Because God is speaking through me this morning. I am the tap, not the water. This is all based on Joshua 1 verse 9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go, even to the bank, even on the call with the tax collector, even when you're trying to figure things out, even when your debit card gets declined at the store. He's there. You're not alone, okay? And there are other people in the world going through what you're going through. Okay? It's just really important for you to understand that. Like, I want you to really hear me on this. Because the only way that this message will land for you today is if you allow that in. Just let it go. It's temporary. And I'm going to talk to you about some different ways that we can use the Lord to fix that, to right that. Okay? Because you probably feel alone, and you're not. But how you carry it and how you carry yourself right now will determine how long it lasts and how it feels along the way. So this is why even when you're in a financial tight spot, even when you're between a rock and a hard place in your money, you still have to have energy like this. I'm excited about what's coming. I forgive myself for any of the decisions that I made that got me here. But I'm excited because I'm learning. I know better. I'm a better woman. I'm a better mother. I'm a better partner. I'm a better contributor. I'm a better tither. Why? Because I'm learning that when I do this, this is the result. And I can inhale and I can exhale with ease and say, it's temporary. Share this out. This is so important. Women need the message about money. Like, this is our number one challenge when it comes to our rise. Not our united rise together in spirit, but for us to be empowered out there, we need to have financial stability. It's so important. It's not something that should be avoided. And so I wanted to talk about it. We're going to talk about it for 2 days. Today and tomorrow, we're talking about money. 2 days. My moderators must be so happy because I got my 2 days worth of notes to them today. This is a 2-day conversation. That's how important it is. You are not in this situation because you lack potential. Okay, so any belief that you have around not being good enough or not being smart enough or not having potential or not having anything to contribute, that's a lie. That's not why you are where you are. Can you agree with me on that? Put a heart in the comments if you agree that that's not why you are where you are. Because we know that that is a lie. And if you believe that, it's only because you've either heard that from somebody else or you're denying the real reason that you're where you are and you're coming up with other reasons instead. Okay? So we're going to get really honest here about our money and why it's funny. Okay? And if your money isn't funny, then there's a really good chance that what you want is more abundance. And so it's the same laws that apply. It doesn't matter where you are, but I'm speaking to those whose money is funny because I have a feeling that there might be some of you here and you need somebody to speak into you about money and wealth and God and faith. And what do we do now? What's next? How do I move forward? Right? You are here because fear convinced you not to move. You're in this position for one of several reasons, possibly. Either You were afraid to make a phone call, or you're afraid to do something, and now you're in a position. For example, taxes. You didn't do what you were supposed to do around your taxes, and now you're in a position. It's because your fear kept you from making the calls that you needed to call. Right? Maybe you're in a season of transition. Maybe you're actually moving from one place to another in your life or geographically, and it's tapping you out. Maybe you're just in transition. Maybe you have felt lost and broken, and you have lacked some kind of focus or direction. And so all of a sudden, you find yourself here. All of this is just information. I don't want you to put emotion on this, just information. Maybe things have shifted and you need to readjust your sails. Maybe the economy's changed. Maybe your relationship status has changed. Maybe your work status has changed. Maybe your health has changed. Trying to fill a void with your resources. Exactly. There's lots of different reasons why we can be in a financial ebb. And it's okay to address it. It's okay to look at it. But what's not okay is to stay there and deny it and then blame it on God, because it's not God's fault. Okay? The dialogue of financial fear, and I want you to listen to these and see which ones apply to you. Sound like, I'm a loser. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Why can't I get my money together? Anyone? There's nothing wrong with you. You're not wrong. You're not broken. You're not a problem that needs fixing. Maybe you have some mindset stuff that needs shifting, but there's nothing wrong with you. Words matter. Why is life so hard for me? Why does this seem so hard for me? And it seems so easy for everyone else. That's another one. This is what it sounds like when it's fear-based. That's why I'm sharing these with you, because I want you to recognize that if you have these thoughts, these are not healthy thoughts. They're fear-based thoughts, okay? I can't get out of this. That's another one. I can't get out of this. See, I can't means you're not able. Words matter. If you speak that out into the ether, right? I can't, I cannot, then you're saying I won't. And then you're right. Is that what you want? Or do you want to say, I look forward to moving out of this season in my life. I'm grateful that this is temporary. Same, it's coming from the same origin, but it's a different language. Do you hear the difference? What if I can't recover and this is the end? What if this never changes? Like, this is it. It's over. It's not. So let's not go there. How about saying something like, I look forward to this recovering and ending. I'm grateful that this is temporary and that this is going to come to an end, and I'm going to have abundance, and I'm going to be able to turn around and help other people who have had situations like mine. I look forward to that. How about that language? Because that's language of abundance, you see, but it's coming from the same origin. So two people can have all of the same circumstances, but one person is grateful and one person is spiraling. Who do you think is going to rise faster? Put it in the comments. The spiraler or the grateful person? Just put gratitude or spiraling. Just put one of two words in the comments, because if you believe that the spiraler is going to get there faster, then have at her and see how it feels. But we all know that darkness just brings more darkness, and light only calls in more light. And are we not commanded, if we go back to the scripture, Are we not commanded to be courageous and strong? What's courageous and strong language sound like? It doesn't sound like all of those things. It sounds like, even if I'm scared, I will still move. It sounds like God and I are moving through this one together. You know it's gratitude, you guys. You know it. I love you. Good. It's important that you write it in the comments. It's important that you engage, because that's you rewiring your mind saying gratitude is the way to abundance. Gratitude is the faster path. Okay, I'm going to remember that, because next time I get into my negative energy, I'm going to go, no, wait a minute. I'm going to change that. I'm going to turn that frown upside down. Why? Because I know it's the faster path, and also it's what God commands, and also it feels better. People want to be around me. You can be broke and grateful and people don't care. But if you're broke and droopy, nobody wants to be around you. It's true, isn't it? Because people don't love you for your money. People love you, the right people anyway. They love you because you bring something to their lives. This is how it sounds. I am meant for more. Right? What can I do to shift my situation? Curiosity is powerful. Curiosity, when I talk to my business builders, I always say, when you have a problem, get curious. How can I change this? Who do I know? What do I need to do? What can I do next? When I was doing the Legacy Business Masterclass last night, I gave them a guide and I said, write down 5 people that you know that can help you build your business. That's curiosity. Okay? What's a problem is when we decide that there are no answers. When there are 8 billion people on the planet who know 8 billion people that we don't know. Right? So we get curious. Instead of hitting a wall, all we do is turn around. You guys, here's the wall. Here's freedom. You can turn and hit the wall, or you can turn the other way and walk into freedom and find a new direction. I'm going to find a new path. I'm going to find a new place to go. That's how easy it can be. I'm going to get up, pick up my mat, and walk. That's what we're doing with our money. That's what we're doing when it comes to wealth. That's what we're doing when we're stuck. We're just saying, I'm going to get up, pick up my mat, and walk. I'm going in the other direction. I'm not going to sit in this place of victimization and poverty. I'm not going to act impoverished. I'm not going to dress impoverished. I'm not going to talk like I don't have an education or that I don't have any money or wealth. I'm going to actually elevate my language. I'm going to elevate the way I carry myself. I'm going to act like I have $1 million in the bank. I'm going to start being the woman, because when I act that way, when I walk that way, I show up different. And when I show up different, people treat me different. When I show up different, I'm open to more. Listen, when I left an abusive situation, I had to leave everything. Okay? He was living with me in my home, and I was working with him in his gym. When I left that abusive situation, I had to walk away from the gym, which is where my entire business was. I had no money in the bank because I was building a business, and I had to walk away from my home that I owned and rent it out and move into the basement of my new gym. And you know what I did, you guys? I'm going to tell you what I did. Listen up. I built a gym on $1,000, a whole gym. Now that $1,000 had to pay for my car, pay for my insurance for my car, pay for my food, pay for my gas, pay for my gym. So you wonder how did somebody who had nothing build a gym that became the #1 gym in the city? It became the #1 gym in the city the first year. How did I build that on nothing? Because really I had nothing. You know what I did? I got resourceful. I got curious. I asked questions. I asked for help. I said, who do I know that can help me? Because this is temporary. He gave me the first month's rent for free because I said, I need the first month's rent for free. He gave me the second month's rent for $250 because that's all I could afford. And then what I did was I filled that gym up the first month and I started paying for stuff. I had no money. I want you to understand that you don't have to have money to move, but you have to have energy. You have to have conviction. You have to have desire. You have to have grit. Because I had to drop all of my pride and sit down with him and say, I'm leaving an abusive situation. I need a place to build my business. I have no money because basically the money that I have, which is $1,000, has to pay for everything that I own. And I have to buy some weights off Kijiji. And that's what I did. I think I spent like $250, which was a lot at the time, on used weights. And I went and bought paint. And I called all my family and friends and we painted that gym and it became the #1 gym in the city on $0. So don't tell me that you're stuck and that you can't move, because I'm going to turn around and say, you're not doing it. You're not doing it. You're sitting in your chair feeling sorry for yourself. You're spending too much time scrolling on social media, trying to find an answer. You know where the answer is? God. You know where the answer is? Faith. You know where the answer is? Movement. You know where the answer is? Belief. You know where the answer is? Gratitude for what hasn't happened yet. You know where the answer is? You. You're the answer. I did the same thing with Crush Coffee. I figured it out. This is really important for you to hear, because that gym became the #1 city in the first year. And then it became the second in the second year. I had never owned a gym before. All I had was a fitness certification and a desire to transform women's bodies and their lives. But I was all in. I was working 12, 14 hours a day. I was grinding through. Financial fear can paralyze you, you guys. It can make you want to stay small. It can stop you from launching, right? It can delay your obedience. You're not listening to what God's message is for you. You can avoid important conversations. Been there, done that. You can live in denial that you're actually the problem. You can cling to unhealthy relationships because you can't leave. Like, these are the things that happen when we are in financial fear, right? I know too many women, myself included, who stayed for too long because of finances. That's why finally I left with nothing and said, I have to build something from nothing. I actually left that relationship knowing that I was going to have less when I left. But you know what I had? My life. You know what I had? My freedom. You know what I had? Pride. Truth. Sanity. I remember waking up the first day when I wasn't in that relationship anymore and waking up and feeling peace because I wasn't anxious about what was going to happen that day. I wasn't anxious about what he was going to say, how he was going to treat me. Was I dead to him that day or not? I woke up and I just was like, oh. My heart was broken, but it was broken in peace. You know? When we're sitting in fear, financial fear, we do things like hide. We isolate. We have shame. What does that mean? We start hiding our gifts. We start hiding away. And we start retreating. And I'm calling you forward. The emotions that it brings are shame, depression, anxiety, worthlessness, isolation, fear, hopelessness, victimization. Do any of these resonate with you? Because these are the emotions that go with the fear, not with the lack, with the fear. Because we can be in lack and be grateful. We can be in a place where we don't have anything. I think of the people who I've met when I was living in Mexico, who had nothing. They were living with a tin roof over them. They didn't have four walls. They didn't have running water. They didn't have toilets. They were working 14, 16 hours a day, and they were happy, and they were God-fearing, and they didn't miss a Sunday, and they didn't miss a celebration. And when it was somebody's birthday, they took the day off work. Those people had it figured out, and I learned so much from them because they didn't allow their finances to determine their emotions. There's a difference. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is movement despite fear. You don't think I was afraid? You don't think I was afraid? Point number 2. So point number 1, sorry, if you're taking points for these, point number 1 was financial fear can paralyze. Point number 2 is God is your source, not people. Oh, come on. We look to people for abundance. It's God who brings it to us. How does he do that? In the form of miracles. How does he perform miracles? Through people who are miraculous. It's not God people, it's God miracle people. That's how it works. People don't bring you abundance. God brings you abundance through the people. That's a perspective shift. What does that mean? Because this is one of the hardest lessons for leaders and entrepreneurs to actually sit on. You guys, this was huge for me. I sit in a room now and I make offers and I have no expectation because I know my gifts. I know what I can deliver to women. I know what happens when women get in my space and I invite them in. And if they don't come in, that's okay. It doesn't stop me from believing. It doesn't stop me from building. It doesn't stop me from moving because I'm not connected to the people. I'm connected to God, and he's the one that gave me my calling. He's the one that says, go out and look for people who need what you have, and I will deliver them to you. But you stay in my orbit. You stay in my belief. Don't you worry about if this person says yes or I always say to people, I have no expectation. I'm just sharing with you what I do. And if what I do is going to help you, then come on in. But if it's not, that's okay. I am not the least bit invested. I'm invested in my calling. I'm invested in God. I'm invested in the work that I do. And I'm invested in the women who come into my containers. But I'm not invested in somebody's yes or somebody's no. Because if I was, it would be the human spirit that I would be depending on. And we all know what that's like. If I join today, can I be in tonight's meeting? Absolutely. And right now, we have a promo for Uncommon Woman Sisterhood, which is $150 for 6 months. But you can also just go in and you can do, go to RomiMarlowe.com, and then if you put the coupon code UNCOMMON10 in the coupon code, it'll give you $10 off. It should still be working. Clients are not your source. Your boss is not your source. Your platform is not your source. Your followers are not your source. Your spouse is not your source. God may use people to deliver the miracle, but he alone is the source. Write that one down. He alone is the source. People are the tap, not the water. This is why we stay close to God. He is the source of all things, great and small. This is why we continue to stay in conversation with him and thank him for what we have yet to see, because the source is him. The abundance comes from him. This is why we pray for wisdom in our choices and in our actions. This is why we tap into our gifts and answer the calling on our lives. That's why when I sit on a call and I say to everybody, this is what I've got going next. I'm running a program called Embody in the month of June. It's a 6-month mastermind. It's for women who want to embody wealth. It's for women who want to embody the women they have to become to carry the legacy. Come on in. But if people don't come in, that's okay, because God's bringing me the people. He already knows who's going to be in that room. He's already got it all planned out. And I'm just out there doing my thing because I'm obedient. And he knows. He trusts me with my calling. He knows that if I put an offer out there, that I will follow through. He knows. He trusts me. Can you be trusted with your calling? Are you consistent in your mission? Because if you're not, actually, bring you people, if you're not consistent, if you're not coachable, if you're not teachable, if you can't take the feedback. You guys, I've been doing this work for 15 years. 1-5. He trusts me now. He knows that I show up. He knows that I want women to thrive. But I'm also not a pushover. He knows that I'm going to say, you're barking up the wrong tree. This is not God. You're too in your head. You're too in your emotions. Stop making it emotional and start making it about what's right for God. He leads us. When we begin idolizing money, when we begin idolizing clients, when we begin idolizing approval, when we begin idolizing visibility, when we begin idolizing or we have the energy of lack or fear pushes us away from people, that's when we need to lean in, because God delivers people to us. But what happens is women often, and I can talk like this because I've been there, when we get into an energy of lack, we get angry, we get resentful, we get snarky, we get pushy, we isolate, we're not happy, we project our stuff on other people, and then we wonder why nobody's coming in. This is the truth. We have to clear the space every day, sometimes several times a day. We have to clear it and say, Lord, take me out of my emotions. Lord, show me where you want me to go. Show me what you want me to do. Tell me what you want me to say and to whom. Because right now, I'm all up in my emotions and it's getting me nowhere. I'm not focusing on me, I'm focusing on them. If you're focusing on other people and other people's errors, what you're not doing is focusing on yourself. You're avoiding whether they're wrong or right, whether it's good or bad. Who cares? Focus on yourself, right? What I've noticed is that the women in my world who don't allow the distractions and the things that bug them to get under their skin, they rise quicker because their energy is focused on them, on fixing them. Because we all know that we all have, little things that we got to fix. We've got a lot of work to do on ourselves. We don't have to worry about working on other people. God is stable. People are not stable. God is stable. So us trying to stabilize other people in place is a waste of our energy, right? People have free will. They're going to do what they're going to do. Listen, Philippians 4, verse 19, we all know this one. And my God shall supply all your needs according to his riches in glory. Well, maybe not everybody knows that one, but that's a great one. It's a popular scripture. My God shall supply all your needs according to his riches. So we get to tap in to his riches. We get to put our hands in his tickle trunk when we're one of his people because it's unlimited. Bring me there. That's the place that I want to go. I want to have that kind of abundance. I want to have that kind of safety. I want to have that kind of love. I want to have that kind of a father. And I want to be able to give back to him through the abundance that is brought to me. So this is why it's so important for us to turn around and serve. So important, right? Our abundance is not going to depend on the economy. It's not going to depend on the algorithms. It's not going to depend on our ex. It's not going to depend on the current bank account. And it's not going to depend on our past mistakes because we aren't looking back. We're looking forward. According to his riches. Excuse me, heaven is not in a recession. Nowhere in the Bible does God talk about there's limited resources right now. Never. Even when people don't have any food, he rains it from the sky. This is the way he works. He shows us that we're wrong time and again. He is not intimidated. Listen, He is not intimidated by the number in your bank account. He is not saying, when you get that back up, we can talk again. He's saying, good, you're at zero. You're at negative whatever. Can you now come closer? Are you ready yet? Can we have a conversation? Because I'm here and I'm ready to tell you what to do. I'm ready to tell you where to go. I'm ready to tell you what to say and to whom. But first of all, you have to come into me and you have to prove to me that you have faith, because the only path to heaven, the only path, you guys listen, the only path to eternal life is faith. We do not get to have no faith and eternal life. So we have to decide right now. And this is money, this is relationships, this is friends, this is health, it's everything. If you want that, you have to do your work here. We don't get to not be 10 toes down here and have it all up there. That's why I wanted to have this conversation today, because I'm tired of women walking around with the muggly ones, dragging their knuckles like they're Neanderthals, saying that it's all over when it's not. Look around you. Listen to the stories of the people who've had nothing, like me. Like PK. Listen, if you need more stories, go online and go stories of people who had nothing and became millionaires. Or just, they don't even have to be a millionaire. Like, we put all of this emphasis on millionaire. You know what? You can't even think about being a millionaire until you get your money right. Because they don't work together. Right? Your lack does not cancel God's ability to provide, but you have to have faith. We have to have faith. We have to know already that it's already happening. It's not a prove. It's not a prove it situation. It's a I have faith situation. When my gym was a box with no paint, with no equipment, I was like, this is going to be the #1 gym in the city. And it was. Because I spoke over it, because I prayed over it, because I knew that what I could create, I knew I was gifted the gift of supporting women in transformation. It's the work that I do. That was my gift. And I knew that if I could build a gym, I could create a safe space where women who hated gyms, who hated their bodies, who hated their lives, could come and talk to me and I could help them transform. And didn't he do it? Didn't we do it? He and I worked together. We co-piloted that whole project. And then when I was ready, I closed my gym and I became a coach because I knew I needed to reach more women. It's so important that we just listen and we go. It's so important that we stop coming up with excuses and being triggered and feeling offended and just get out of our emotions and get moving, because that's how you build. And you know what's funny? People who are building, all of a sudden they're not as offended. They're not as triggered. Why? Because they're spending all of their emotion building their life. I'm telling you, listen. I'm getting all worked up over here. Okay, last one. Courage looks like responsibility. And this could be a much bigger conversation. I'm probably going to pull this in tomorrow, but I just want you to hear this, okay? Because I love you. Oh. My Facebook just died. Who? Oh, no. Oh, my phone just died. I wasn't paying attention to Facebook. Okay, they're going to be like, what happened? Crap. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Can somebody let Alita know that my phone died? I had my phone plugged into my Instagram because both of these phones are older and they chew up battery. Okay. Courage looks like responsibility. Faith is not financial avoidance. Some people call it faith while avoiding budgeting, tithing, stewardship, organization, taxes, difficult conversations, discipline, and wise planning. We can't avoid those things if we want to be responsible. And courage is responsibility. Courage means, thank you, Sarah. Courage means I am responsible for what I have not taken care of. I'm going to have the hard conversation. I'm going to budget. I'm going to be a better steward of my money. I'm going to get organized, all of that. God can only bless what we are willing to steward. He will not bless the mess. Okay? And what I mean by that is he blesses messy people if we know that we're messy, but he's not going to say, okay, it's okay that you're constantly messing up. It's not okay that you're constantly putting your money into your drugs or into your addiction or into somebody who's, I don't know, living off of you, and you know that it's not healthy. Okay? He's not going to bless that. And it's going to cause you discomfort, because he's a bold God. He also says, do what I ask, be obedient. And when we're not obedient, because I don't think that God is the one that says, give a bunch of money to this person over here who's going to steal and, whatever, abuse the money. Okay? He's not going to bless that. He's going to bless us when we're obedient. But when we're not obedient, he's going to stand back and go, okay, so this is sometimes why we don't get what we want yet, because we're not ready to carry it. We have to be ready to carry the responsibility of the abundance. This is part of the wealth mindset. This is part of us growing. This is part of us getting better. And you know what? You can have a wealth mindset and be broke. It's okay. It happens to people. So if you have a healthy wealth mindset, stay there. It's coming back. But maybe what you need to do now is shift and pivot and grow. Maybe there's a part of you that needs to move. But it happens to everybody, and it's okay. It's not something to be ashamed of. Prayer without stewardship. Listen, prayer without stewardship, meaning we can pray about our money, but if we don't act on it, if we don't steward it properly, it becomes emotional outsourcing. What does that mean? It means that we're going to just pray about it and then leave it up to God. That doesn't work. I'm so sorry about Facebook. Bang. Oh, it's back on. But now we're almost done. Okay? God often multiplies what women are finally willing to manage. So we need to be willing to manage big money or big wealth or big responsibility. We have to say, I'm all in, I'm here, I'm doing the work, I'm willing to manage it, I'm willing to grow. Bring it on. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth. It is he who gives you the ability, the capacity, the gifts to build wealth. I'll just take this live and I'll put it over on Facebook later. Thank you, Alita. I'm so sorry, sis. I was so worked up that I didn't change my charger over to the other phone. I've got 3 phones and I have one charging because I only have one charging port on my thing. Anyway, it's all good. Wealth creation is not evil. Resourcefulness is not evil. Building is not evil. Women prospering is not evil. Wealth amplifies who you already are. If this is something that is vital. Did anybody ever say money is the source of all evil? You know what? I heard this quote one time from a mentor and I never forgot it. Money only amplifies. Wealth only amplifies who you already are. Isn't that beautiful? So if anybody ever says that to you, just say that. If you're a good person in the core and you get money, you're going to be able to do good things. If you're a giver and you have lots of money, you're going to give, right? If you're a caretaker and you have money, you're going to care with it. But if you're selfish, you will only become more selfish. If you're a hoarder, you'll only become more of a hoarder. Do you know what I mean? It only amplifies who you already are. It is such a beautiful way to answer that. When somebody says, oh, people who are Christian and who are building wealth are only causing more evil in the world. And you can say, no, it's going to amplify who I already am. It's going to allow me to silence the evil. You know what? And also, I'm not going to be stressed out 24/7, 365. I'll be a better mother, partner, granddaughter, daughter, grandmother, whatever, friend. It's true. You may be exhausted, but not because you're lazy, because you've carried so much responsibility for so long. I'm almost done. You've tried to hold everything together. You've tried to survive quietly. You've tried to make miracles out of almost nothing. Maybe you have felt ashamed, embarrassed, discouraged, afraid, but shame is not your identity. Listen to me. I'm pointing at you. Your current financial situation is not your final identity. It's a stepping stone to obedience. Let it be a sign to be more obedient. Let it be a sign to be more in prayer. Let it to be a sign to get on your knees one more time every day. Let it be a sign that you actually have work to do. Let it be a sign that you got stuff to learn still. Like, is it okay for us to just say, okay, so I've got the relationship stuff figured out and I've got my health back and I'm sober and all the things, but now I need to work on my money. That's okay. Because there was a time when you were drunk as a skunk or addicted and you had to make a deal with yourself. And then you did it. I believe that if all of you who've gotten sober and you've been sober from heavy addiction for if you can do that, you can do anything. If you have lost 50 pounds or 40 pounds, and if you're one of those people, you can take care of your money. I've learned that there are characteristics about people who are really good at committing and who really show up, that if you can do something like that, you can do something like this. There's no difference. God is not calling you to panic, sis. He's calling you to awareness and to courage. Just like he called Joshua to take a new path. One that would require immense faith and deep devotion. He is calling you to cross the river from lack to abundance, from hopelessness to hope, fear of poverty to faith and financial abundance. This is not reckless faith. This is not denial of your present situation. This is not pretending things are okay, but courageous faith that builds. This is courageous faith that builds. And it says, God, I will trust you while I would... Wait, let me say this again. This is not reckless faith. I get so excited. This is not denial of your present situation. This is not pretending things are okay. This conversation, it is not those things. What it is saying, God, I will trust you while I rebuild starting today. God, I will move even when I'm afraid starting today. God, I will steward what you place in my hands and what I already have starting today. God, I will stop partnering with fear starting now. Courageous women of God are not women who never feel fear. Courageous women of God decide fear will no longer lead their lives. God will. I love you. You guys, I hope this shifted you today. Go back and watch the replay. This is going to be up on YouTube. It's going to be up on Facebook, on my Romy Marlowe Uncommon Woman page. I'll take the TikTok and download it and put it over there because the other one got cut off. This is so important. Share this out. This is the kind of conversation we need to have. Listen, two things are happening. Tonight, God's Girl guest call is happening. It's a conversation inside of the Uncommon Woman sisterhood. Get in the room, okay? You can come into that call for free. You don't have to be part of the sisterhood to be on the call tonight. So you can DM me for the link. You can reach out to info@theuncommonwoman.com, THEUNCOMMONWOMAN.com. And you can get in the room. But also you could just join the sisterhood and get into the space of me and these other incredible women who are building sisterhood, and we're having these kinds of conversations. Okay? If you go to RomyMarlowe.com right now, you can either get 6 months for $150, or you can do $10 off your first month. So you save more on the $150, but you can save it $10 in your first month using the coupon code UNCOMMON10. Good, you're joining now. Yay! I love all of you so much. Thank you to my moderators. I hope you have an incredible day, everybody. I'm sorry that I went a little bit over. Sorry, Facebook, that my phone died. So tomorrow is part 2. This is just part 1. Just you wait. Share this out. Have an incredible day. Cheers, everybody. Go be abundant. Love you.